Have you ever caught yourself walking past that little bottle of holy water on your shelf, maybe near your front door or tucked in a cabinet hand, barely giving it a second thought? If so, you're not alone. So many of us have holy water at home, but let's be honest, it just kind of sits there. We receive it reverently at church. We bring it home with the best intentions, maybe even place it in a beautiful container. But then days, weeks, sometimes even months go by, and we forget it's there. It wasn't until I heard a reflection on Pope Leo XIV's teachings that this really hit me. He said something that stopped me in my tracks. Holy water unused becomes a shield unlifted. Think about that for a moment. You have a spiritual weapon in your home, something the church has blessed, something meant to protect, purify, and bring peace, and it's just waiting. Waiting to be used with purpose. Waiting to be activated by your faith. Pope Leo XIV wasn't trying to guilt us. He was inviting you to see this not as a missed opportunity, but as a call to begin again. You see, holy water isn't just a nice tradition. It's a sacrament. That means it's a sacred sign, something that helps prepare your heart to receive God's grace and reminds you that His protection isn't far off, it's near, it's real, and it's active. But here's the key. It doesn't work automatically. It's not a magical liquid. Its power flows when it's combined with belief, with prayer, with reverence, with trust in God. Maybe you're watching this today and realizing you've been going through a spiritual dry spell. Maybe your home has felt tense. Maybe you've been carrying stress that clings to your walls like dust. Well, what if your holy water was never meant to be forgotten on a shelf? What if it's been waiting for this very moment right now to become part of a new chapter in your spiritual life? That's what Pope Leo's words did for me. They helped me see that I wasn't powerless, that I didn't need to wait for a spiritual emergency to start using what God had already placed in my hands. So here's my invitation to you. Don't just keep holy water, use it. Make the decision that today you're going to pick up that bottle with a prayer on your lips and faith in your heart. You don't need a special ritual or perfect words, just sincerity, just trust. This could be the wake-up call your home and heart have been waiting for. Now that you've picked up that bottle of holy water again, here's the next step. Make it part of your daily life. Pope Leo XIV was clear about this. He said that holy water is not something we should only reach for in times of fear or spiritual emergency. It's meant to be part of your everyday routine, just like morning prayer or making the sign of the cross. Think about how many things you do automatically every day, checking your phone, brushing your teeth, locking the front door. What if blessing your home became one of those sacred, simple habits? It doesn't take much. In fact, Pope Leo often recommended something very doable. Each morning when you wake up, walk through your main living space and sprinkle a little holy water. Say an Our Father, or even a short, sincere prayer like, Lord, bless this house. Let your peace fill every corner. Protect all who dwell here. Then again, at night before going to bed, do the same. Think of it as tucking your home under God's protection, just like you would tuck a child into bed. This might sound small, but spiritually, it's powerful. You're creating a rhythm of blessing, a habit of holiness. You're not just reacting to trouble, you're building a shield that stays up day and night. And here's something else Pope Leo XIV used to say that I'll never forget. Negative forces are like dust, they settle daily and must be swept away with prayer. Isn't that so true? Sometimes we can't even name what's off in our home. Maybe there's tension in the air or a heaviness no one's talking about. Maybe the kids are restless, the conversations are short, or you just feel a little more anxious than usual. Don't ignore that. Don't assume it's just stress or coincidence. Start by praying over your home with holy water, not in fear but in faith. Trust that God can do in the spiritual what we can't always see in the natural. It's not about how much holy water you use, it's about how consistently you use it. That's what Pope Leo XIV emphasized: daily devotion over dramatic displays. A little each day, with belief, will do far more than a flood of prayer only when things get bad. So if your bottle's been untouched for a while, don't wait. Don't worry about what you didn't do yesterday. Start today. Start tonight. Let that small moment, just a sprinkle and a prayer, become a quiet revolution in your home. And watch what God does with it. Now that you're building a daily rhythm of blessing your home with holy water, there's something essential you need to remember. Intention matters. This is where many of us, even with the best hearts, tend to slip. We sprinkle holy water here and there, maybe on the front door, maybe over the bed. But if we're honest, sometimes we do it without thinking. No prayer, no reflection, just the motion. Pope Leo XIV spoke with quiet clarity on this. He said holy water doesn't work like magicids. Not the liquid itself that holds the power. It's what you do with it. It's the faith you bring, the prayer you speak, and the openness in your heart that turns holy water from a tradition into a real channel of grace. Let me give you a visual that helped me. Using holy water without intention is like mailing an empty envelope. You go through the motions, you drop it in the mailbox, you put a stamp on it, but there's nothing inside. No message, no purpose. Now picture this. You send that same envelope again, but this time it holds a handwritten letter, a prayer, a plea, a praise, a hope. That's what makes the difference. So, when you reach for your holy water, pause for just a moment. Close your eyes. Let your heart speak. You don't need a long, eloquent prayer. You could simply say, Lord, may this water be a sign of your protection. Let it cleanse this space and everyone in it. May your peace reign here. Amen. Or maybe you speak a need aloud. God, there's been tension in this house. Please bring unity again. Jesus, I'm feeling overwhelmed. Please bring me peace tonight. By adding that layer of intention, you're not just flicking water into the air, you're declaring spiritual truth. You're inviting the Holy Spirit into your space. And believe me, that invitation changes things. You might not see it right away, but over time, you'll feel it. The atmosphere will soften, the stress will lift, the fear will fade. Why? Because you're involving God, not as a last resort, but as your first response. This is what Pope Leo XIV understood so deeply, that holy water is not for emergencies only. It's for presence, for protection, for peace, and it's activated not by ritual but by relationship. So next time you hold that bottle, don't rush it. Speak from your heart even if your words feel small. God hears you. God honors your sincerity. And His grace flows through every drop when your faith gives it permission. Before you bless your home, your children, or even the walls around you, don't forget this one powerful truth. You are the first temple to be blessed. Pope Leo XIV reminded us that the very first place we should use holy water isn't our front door or bedroom, it's ourselves. It's easy to forget, isn't it? You want your family protected. You want your house filled with peace. But your soul, your heart, that sacred inner space deserves the same protection. This is why he encouraged believers to start and end their day with a simple, intentional act, dipping your fingers in holy water and making the sign of the cross. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. That's it. But when you do it with faith, that small moment becomes armor for your soul. You're not just drawing a cross, you're placing yourself under divine covering. You're saying, God, go before me, walk with me, protect my mind, my body, and my spirit today. And you don't have to wait until you're overwhelmed or afraid. This is daily protection. Think of it the way a soldier prepares for battle. They don't wait until the enemy appears. They suit up every morning. You're doing the same, spiritually. And if you're someone who struggles with anxiety, temptation, or just feeling emotionally drained, this habit can become a lifeline. You're reminding yourself with every drop that you belong to God, that your body is sacred, that your thoughts can be renewed. Pope Leo XIV believed in the personal use of holy water so deeply because he saw what happens when we forget ourselves in the process of trying to care for everyone else. When our own hearts are tired or spiritually dry, it's hard to offer peace to others. But when you begin your day by blessing yourself, You're starting from a place of strength, not perfection, but grace. And here's something beautiful. This practice has helped so many people find peace in moments they once dreaded. A woman from Mexico City once shared that she struggled with anxiety so intense she could hardly breathe. She began blessing herself with holy water every morning and night. Within weeks, her mind calmed, her sleep improved, and she began to feel grounded again. That can be your story too. So tonight, before you lay down to sleep, try it. Dip your fingers in holy water. Make the sign of the cross slowly. Let it be more than habit. Let it be a holy moment. You are worthy of that blessing. And when your spirit is protected, your whole home begins to reflect that peace. Let me ask you something you might not have thought about before. Do you ever bless the doors and windows in your home? Pope Leo XIV brought up something so simple, but honestly it changed the way I see my own space. He said our doors and windows are spiritual thresholds. They're not just parts of a building. They're symbolic entrances, points of transition, and if left unguarded, they can be places where negative influences creep in unnoticed. Think about it. How many times have you prayed in your living room or your bedroom but never once thought to bless the front door or the back window? It's not that something scary is waiting on the other side, but spiritually, those are the gateways where fear, tension, or unrest can enter. Pope Leo said these spots are just like the gates of a fortress, and a fortress is only strong if its borders are protected. So, here's a practice you can begin tonight, something that's now part of my own evening routine. Take your holy water, walk slowly through your home, stop at every door and window, make the sign of the cross and say something simple like, Lord, protect this entrance. Let only peace and blessing come through here. Guard this space with your presence. It doesn't have to be dramatic, just sincere. What you're doing in that moment is claiming your territory for God. You're drawing invisible boundaries of spiritual protection and asking the Lord to keep watch not just over what comes in physically, but emotionally and spiritually too. And you might be surprised by what begins to shift. Maybe you'll sleep more soundly. Maybe conversations around the table feel less strained. Maybe you'll just feel safer, more centered, more aware that your home belongs to the Lord. The truth is, you don't always need to know what you're protecting your home from. That's the beauty of faith. You don't have to see the full picture to trust the one who does. Pope Leo XIV reminded us that we don't need to live in fear of darkness. We just need to live with light. And holy water, used with prayer and faith, is one of the ways we invite that light to stay. So next time you walk past your front door, don't just lock it physically, bless it spiritually. Ask God to be the doorkeeper of your home. Ask Him to be the watchman at your window. You're not doing this because you're afraid. You're doing it because your home is sacred, because it deserves peace. And peace, my friend, begins at the threshold. If you're a parent, a grandparent, or someone who cares for others in your home, this chapter is especially for you. Pope Leo XIV once said that children and the elderly are the most spiritually sensitive people in the household. He called them spiritual sponges because they absorb everything around them, the peace, the tension, the love, the fear. And the truth is, they also absorb whatever spiritual atmosphere you set. Have you ever noticed that when things feel heavy in the house, when arguments happen or stress builds up, the kids act out more, or that elderly loved ones seem more anxious or withdrawn? It's not just emotional, sometimes it's spiritual. And the Pope encouraged us not only to pray for them, but to bless them directly with holy water, with love, with gentle intention. You might already pray over your children silently. But what if tonight you looked them in the eyes and said aloud, God bless you, may His peace be with you, may angels guard your dreams. And then bless their forehead with a touch of holy water. It doesn't take long, but it does something powerful both for them and for you. The same goes for aging parents or elderly loved ones. As their bodies grow weaker, their spirits often crave comfort and reassurance. A quiet blessing before bed, a whispered prayer over their hands. These small acts communicate love in a way words can't fully express. And if you've never done this before, that's okay. Don't worry about doing it perfectly. Just start. Maybe tonight, after this video, you go to your child's room and kneel beside their bed. Maybe you visit your grandmother or grandfather and gently hold their hand as you pray. Or maybe you begin blessing them before school, before meals, or when they feel sick or scared. Pope Leo XIV reminded us that we, as caretakers, have a sacred responsibility not just to provide, but to protect spiritually. And holy water, when used with faith and love, becomes a visible expression of that care. One parent shared how her daughter, who used to suffer from nightmares, began to sleep peacefully after she started blessing her with holy water every night. Not only did the child rest better, but the mother felt a deeper bond forming, like their nightly prayer had become a bridge between them and heaven. That's what can happen in your family too. So don't let another day pass without wrapping your loved ones in spiritual protection. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be present. Pick up the holy water, speak a word of blessing, and trust that God is doing something deep, even if you can't see it right away. Because love like that, it echoes in eternity. Let's talk about sleep. Not just physical rest, but spiritual rest. That deep kind of peace that lets your mind settle, your heart breathe easy, and your soul feel safe enough to let go. If you've been struggling with sleep tossing and turning, waking up anxious, feeling unrested even after a full night, this chapter is for you. Pope Leo XIV spoke often about the importance of nighttime spiritual protection. He believed the hours when we sleep are some of the most spiritually vulnerable moments in our day. Why? Because we're resting. Our guard is down. Our thoughts, dreams, and bodies are exposed in a quiet, subconscious way. And that's why he recommended a simple, powerful habit. Bless your bed each night with holy water. This doesn't have to be complicated or long. Just take a moment before you lie down. Sprinkle a few drops over your pillow or your mattress and pray something like, "Lord, may your peace rest here tonight. Keep every fear far away. Let my heart rest in you." You can say a Hail Mary or Psalm 4:8. "In peace I will lie down and sleep. For you alone, Lord, make me dwell in safety." This practice has helped more people than you might think. There's a story Pope Leo once shared about a man named Miguel who suffered for months from terrifying nightmares. He tried everything, changing pillows, new bedding, even seeing doctors, but nothing worked. Until one night, he followed his aunt's advice. He sprinkled his bed with holy water and said a Hail Mary. That night, he slept peacefully for the first time in weeks. Within days, the nightmares stopped. He didn't just find sleep again, he found peace again. And maybe that's exactly what you've been needing too. So many of us go to bed carrying the weight of the day, stress from work, tension in relationships, worries we don't even know how to name. But what if your bedtime could become a sacred pause? A moment where you say, "God, I give it all to you tonight. Keep watch while I sleep." When you make holy water part of your nightly routine, you're doing just that. You're creating a spiritual boundary, a safe space, a resting place covered not by chance, but by blessing. And over time, it's not just your sleep that improves. Your emotional health, your physical well-being, your morning clarity, it all begins to shift when you sleep under God's peace. So tonight, before you crawl under the covers, pause. Pick up your holy water. Invite God in. Trust that while you sleep, He stands guard. Let your bed become a place where peace is planted and where His presence dwells. By now, you've heard a lot about holy water, how to use it, when to use it, and why it matters. But Pope Leo XIV left us with one final reminder. It's perhaps the most important one of all. It's not the object itself, it's the faith behind it. You see, it's easy to treat holy water and other sacramentals like crucifixes, rosaries, and medalsas spiritual accessories. We place them on shelves, hang them on walls, carry them in our bags. But Pope Leo warned us, if we don't use them with faith and intention, they become decorations. They might look holy, they might feel meaningful, but unless you use them with a heart that's turned toward God, they don't activate the grace they're meant to invite. Sacramentals are not magical items. They're not lucky charms. They're tools. They're sacred supports. They're physical signs pointing to a spiritual reality. And they only come alive when you engage with them through prayer, belief, and love. Let's take the crucifix, for example. Do you have one in your home, maybe one in your bedroom or on the living room wall? Pope Leo XIV taught that a crucifix should be in every room, not just as a reminder, but as a spiritual anchor. And here's something he used to do. Each time he passed a crucifix, he would make the sign of the cross with holy water and pray, "By your cross and resurrection, protect this home and all who dwell within it." That small act, done with reverence, created an atmosphere where God was always welcome. And you can do the same. You can also do this with other sacramentals. The St. Benedict medal, for instance, which Pope Leo considered a powerful spiritual safeguard. But again, it's not about owning the medal. It's about believing in what it represents, using it, blessing it, touching it with holy water, and speaking a prayer of protection. Everything we've talked about, blessing your home, your children, yourself, your bed, it all leads back to this. Your faith is the key. Your willingness to trust that God can work through the simple, the ordinary, the humble. Holy water, when combined with that trust, becomes a shield, a cleansing stream, a whisper of grace that covers your home and flows into your spirit. So, as you look around your home today at the holy water font, the crucifix, the medals, ask yourself, are these reminders of God's presence, or are they just symbols I've forgotten to engage with? The good news is it's never too late to begin again. Start tonight. Pick up that holy water. Make the sign of the cross. Let your faith speak louder than fear, and let your home become more than a place to live. Let it become a sanctuary. Because when you fill your home with God's presence, it becomes a place where peace, grace, and protection are not just hoped for but felt. By now, you've learned a lot, not just about holy water, but about the way faith comes alive when it's practiced intentionally. And as we come to the final part of this journey, I want to share something Pope Leo XIV emphasized over and over again in his reflections. Faith is not just what we believe, it's what we build into our daily lives. Let that sink in. Because here's the truth. You can have holy water in your home, rosaries in your drawer, crucifixes on every wall. But unless those things are woven into your routine, into your prayer life, they risk becoming background noise. Beautiful, sacred, powerful symbols left untouched. Pope Leo XIV didn't call us to spiritual performance. He called us to spiritual rhythm. And one of the most powerful rhythms he practiced and encouraged families to reclaim was the rosary. The rosary is a journey. If you've ever tried praying the rosary but felt like you were just reciting words, you're not alone. I've been there. We all have. But Pope Leo taught something deeper. The rosary isn't just a series of prayers. It's a spiritual journey through the life of Christ. Each mystery is an invitation to walk with Jesus, to feel what he felt, to see what Mary saw, to pause and let those moments shape your heart. The joyful mysteries, when you pray them slowly, intentionally help you begin your day with hope. The sorrowful mysteries help you carry your own struggles with courage. The glorious mysteries remind you of the victory you're already part of, even when life feels heavy. So what if you stopped seeing the rosary as a task and started seeing it as a conversation, a sacred rhythm, a slow and steady heartbeat that brings your soul back into alignment? Pair it with holy water. Pope Leo often recommended pairing the rosary with holy water, not because the water activates anything, but because it marks the space. Before you begin praying, take a few drops and bless yourself. Sprinkle your prayer space. Mark your crucifix with it. Let it serve as a sign that this moment, this time of prayer is set apart for something sacred. There's something powerful about combining the physical and the spiritual. Holy water reminds your body what your soul is doing. It's engaging heaven. It's saying, God, be here with me now. Even if you only pray 1 decade, even if it's late and your words are tired, do it with faith, because it's not the length of your prayer, it's the love behind it. Make prayer your lifestyle. Now, you might be wondering, how do I fit all this into my busy life? Pope Leo's answer was always the same. It's not about adding more. It's about shaping what already exists. Prayer doesn't have to be confined to a quiet room. You can pray the rosary while cooking dinner. You can bless your door with holy water before you leave for work. You can whisper a Hail Mary while folding laundry, or pause to make the sign of the cross before turning on your phone in the morning. These aren't empty rituals, they're anchors. They turn ordinary moments into encounters with God. Pope Leo would say, you don't find peace by escaping life. You find peace by inviting God into it. So build your day around grace. Let the rhythm of the rosary wrap around your routines. Let holy water greet your mornings. Let prayer slip into the cracks of your day, those quiet, in-between spaces where your soul is still listening. Let your home reflect heaven. As you build these habits, your home will begin to change. And not just on the surface. There will be more stillness, less tension, more unity. A feeling that God is not just welcome here, but dwells here. You'll notice your children becoming more curious about faith, your conversations taking a gentler tone. Even visitors will say, there's something peaceful in your house. And you'll know it's not the paint color, it's not the candles, it's the presence. That's what happens when you make prayer your pattern. You're not just asking God to step in when there's trouble, you're building him a dwelling place with your words, with your water, with your reverence. You're not alone in this. And if you ever feel discouraged if you miss a night, forget a blessing, or fall back into old patterns, please remember, you're not alone. You're part of a wider body, a family of believers around the world who are learning, just like you, how to bring God back into the center. Some of us are new to this. Some of us are rediscovering it after years. And some are holding it down in the middle of chaos. But all of us are being drawn into the same truth. God honors your effort, not your perfection. So don't give up. If all you can manage tonight is to touch your forehead with holy water and whisper, Jesus, be here, that's enough. That's more than enough. A final invitation. Before we close, I want to invite you to do one thing tonight. Just one. Take your bottle of holy water, find your rosary, and set them next to your bed. That's it. Let that be your yes, your small beginning, your silent agreement that this home, this life, belongs to God. And tomorrow, wake up and say just one prayer, one Hail Mary, one moment of blessing. Let that rhythm begin to take root. Because what you're doing isn't small, it's sacred. You're not just building a routine, you're building a refuge. A sanctuary that stretches beyond the walls of your house and reaches into eternity. That's what Pope Leo XIV believed. That's what I've come to believe. And that's what I pray you'll begin to experience starting right now.